My name is Jeremy Huntington. I cover game management units 18 and 28 in Grand County. Access for GMU 28 can be through my stuff through Fraser in Winter Park, off of County Road 50 will take you into Churches Park. That will also tie into, that's the ridgeline between Fraser Valley and Williams Fork. That area tends to get a lot of pressure given that it's fairly close to the Denver metro area. The units over another place out of Winter Park for GMU 28 would be going up Rollins Pass or Corona Pass, which takes you up towards Divide. That's pretty popular as far as also for mountain biking, and in the fall that road does get a lot of traffic for just people looking at leaves and tourism in general. So just be aware of that traffic, but it can be really good if you get off that road and start working in some areas off the road. Generally, Cottonwood Pass, and there's a spot, Big Meadows, that's off of County Road 55 outside of Granby. That area can be pretty good for deer. Elk start moving into that area later in the fall. Our later seasons tend to be a little better towards Granby for the unit. But earlier seasons like archery and muzzleloading, those animals tend to be higher, and as they move throughout the seasons from first rifle, second rifle to fourth rifle seasons, the movement of those animals tends to be from elevation towards Winter Park as they move towards Granby, and ultimately our winter range for deer and elk are outside of Hot Sulphur, Kremling, and there's limited winter range in Granby. For Game Management Unit 18, out of sight of Grand Lake, the most access is Stillwater Pass. This is really, there's a lot of ATV, dirt bike, motorized recreation that occurs on Stillwater Pass. That can be beneficial if you have use of an ATV to access some areas that you can get off your ATV and hike, a half mile to a mile and access good spots for deer and elk hunting, and get away from those ATV trails. And however, it also gets a lot of activity on nice days in the fall, and some hunters that can be frustrating as far as the number of people that are up there recreating instead of hunting. Outside of Rocky Mountain National Park, you can also contact Rocky Mountain National Park if you want more of a remote area. There are 3 different trails that the National Park Service allows hunters to access. Make sure that you contact Rocky Mountain National Park prior to arrival to get the specifics. They do not obviously allow hunting in the park. However, they allow access through the park to access some remote areas on the Forest Service. Those tend to be 1 to 2 miles from a road to get into the boundary. The big thing with that is there tends to be a lot of pressure on opening day. It's more of through the week. Hunting through the week helps with that pressure. And up in the Never Summer wilderness areas, that offers a lot of remote hunting without ATV and other recreational activities occurring. So in GMU 18, typically the elk are in the northern part of the unit, as well as deer. In the earlier seasons, archery, muzzleloading, first rifle. As far as seasonal access in GMU 18, The earlier seasons, such as archery and muzzleloading season, the elk and deer tend to be dispersed higher elevations. Once snow starts falling as we get into the rifle seasons, there's a push of those animals from GMU 18 through Stillwater Pass in the northern part of the unit between Highway 125 and Highway 34, and those animals tend to move south. Times with pressure, a lot of times those animals move through south through Highway 34 down along the private and forest boundary lines. However, at times hunting from the private properties as well as hunting from an activity on the forest tends to push those animals back and forth. So the later the seasons, like come fourth full season, instead of hunting up north towards Grand Lake, you could start looking for animals more along Highway 125 and Granby and shift your focus from higher elevation Forest Service properties to lower elevation BLM lands between Highway 34 and Highway 125.